Hey guys, welcome back to Spencer Rides Bikes. I'm Spencer, and today we're going to go over the Silca wax system here. Going to show you guys waxing the chain on my Epic and let you know what I think right afterwards.
All right, so we've got all the parts for the Silca wax system here. Let's get this thing together. We've got everything together now. I've poured about a third of the way full in the wax melter with the secret chain blend. So let's get this on here. Turn it up to 85 degrees Celsius, which is about 185 degrees, I believe. And we'll see how long it takes to melt that wax. So we're about 8 minutes in so far. A lot of that wax has melted and I'm starting to see I'm gonna have to add more, so I'm gonna add some more to that. And we'll let that sit and fully melt now. All right, so we're around 45 minutes in since I first initially put the first pour of wax in. It is totally melted. Gonna lower that temperature down to the normal 675. Very nice chain hanger they have for it. So now we're gonna dip that down in. There we go. Completely submerge that. Very nice. Make sure that's not going to fall in. All right, so come back in maybe 5 minutes or so and agitate that some more. Start getting all the air out of it. So it's been about 5 minutes. Just gonna give this another good twist, move it around. Try to get any little bit of air out of there so the wax can just get through all the pivot points of the chain. And now we'll let that be again. All right, so the chain's been in there about 15 minutes now. Just kind of give that one final shakedown, and then we'll take that out and hang it there to drip. Very nice with this tower right on top that you could just hang it right over the pot. Wouldn't be that hard to DIY something that could just sit over a crock pot, but very nice that this is just all put together for you. So pretty cool that Silca does that. Yeah, we'll let this sit for probably 10 or 15 minutes and then see how it goes with it on the bike. So the chain is done, it's on the bike. Shifting pretty smoothly. I know they say the first 5-10 minutes when you're actually on the bike could be a little rough for the shifting until it kind of breaks in. Initially, just in the stand here, shifting pretty good. And this is actually a different rear wheel on my Epic World Cup, so happy that that didn't need any adjustment. Running it through the gears a little, it does seem to be flaking up a little bit, which I know they also say is going to happen in the little booklet on a freshly waxed chain. But overall, it seems good to go. Excited to see how it'll do on the trail.
So I've probably put about 75 miles or so on my first wax chain since doing it for the first time. And since then, it's been fantastic. Having the wax on the chain just keeps it quiet. It keeps it a lot cleaner, which I'm a big fan of. Prior to using the wax, I was using wet lube for the most part, and it would just get dirty after a ride or two. So this keeping it clean is pretty cool. Seems to shift very smoothly also. I know what a lot of people say when they freshly wax a chain and get it on the bike. It tends to be a little iffy on the shifting for the first 5 or 10 minutes, but just right away, riding my bike with the wax chain, it was shifting perfectly. So that's been awesome. The silca system here, it's been great. I actually just re-waxed the chain this morning after roughly 75 miles. Ran the chain through my ultrasonic again and ran it through the crockpot system here. This is my co-star Toby. So yeah, using the silca system, super nice. Um, I will say I think it is a tad bit pricey for what it is. Essentially, it is a glorified crock pot with a nice stand over it and a nice little chain loop that you could probably DIY yourself for all of $20. But it does work super well, and if you're not somebody who wants to mess around, kind of getting your setup dialed in, this is a great option. So I'd also been staring at it in work for a couple weeks until I finally decided to get it for myself for a Christmas present for me to me. So going over by bike now too, do a little bike update. Probably one of the coolest things, one of my friends for Christmas gave me these cool 3D printed, not sure if you can see it, these cool 3D printed Pokeball valve caps. So that was really cool. I have switched my tires over to the Maxxis Recon Race, just kind of in preparation for the upcoming race season here in Texas. I know there's going to be a couple races with the trails where there's a decent amount of sharp rocks and such, so just wanted to go with something with a bit of a thicker sidewall, kind of help not getting any punctures with that. The only other thing you might notice on my bike that's different, and I think I stated it in the video when I first put the chain on my bike, my rear wheel is actually the rear wheel off of my old Epic Expert. I had to switch that out because the World Cup wheel set, the DT Swiss internals, the ratchet gear actually broke apart on a ride, which I was pretty sad about at the time because I had to hobble about 5 miles back to my truck. But got in contact with DT Swiss. They were super easy to deal with. They're sending me a new parts kit out for the hub. So hopefully everything goes great with that. I'll get my old wheel back on. And yeah, that's it for this one. Thanks for watching, guys. I'll see you in the next one.